You applied to a government job on usajobs.gov and you haven't heard back, and now you're wondering, what can I do? What comes next? Let's get into it. The application received email is the first step. You should get this email as soon as you apply for the job on usajobs.gov. Now, this is not from the agency that you applied to. This is an automated email that you're going to get from the USA staffing office in OPM. And it basically means they received your application, and that's it. In addition to this, you might receive another email asking you to take an online assessment. So this isn't for every job, but some jobs require it. So look out for that email also. Once you take the assessment, it could be just one component, it could be 5 or 6 components. Whatever components you're doing, that will be good for 12 months. And you will not know exactly how you scored. A lot of people, when they take the assessment, they want to know, how good was it, right? Did I get 70%, 80%? Can I retake it? Well, the answer is no, you cannot retake it. You have to wait those 12 months. Okay, so the next is you'll receive an email that says you're eligible or qualified. You might get this email or you might not get this email. So this is basically telling you that based on the questions that you answered, are you eligible? Because there's a way you can disqualify yourself. If you put down there that you have limited to no experience and you keep on marking that answer, you're disqualifying yourself and they're not going to move forward with your application. Another thing that this process entails is ensuring that you're in the area of consideration. So if this job is for veterans, that means you need to attach your DD-214. If you do that, then you're eligible. If you do not do this, you will receive an email that says you do not meet the area of consideration. Okay, the next email you get is you're referred or you're not referred. If you're new to applying to government jobs on usajobs.gov, then when you first get your referral email, you get excited, right? Some people even do like a little dance. They're like, yeah, I got referred. But I wouldn't get too excited because you could be referred many times. That doesn't mean they have to interview you. There is no obligation to interview you. A referral is still a good thing, and you should smile when you get it because it means that you're doing the right thing. Your resume was good enough to get referred to the hiring manager. Now, the ball is in the court of the hiring manager. So I also recommend with referrals, you should track them. Track to see how many of your applications are turning into referrals. And the number I go by is 50%. So if you apply 10 times, 5 of those applications should be referred to the hiring manager. If it's not, that means you need to relook your resume, or when you're applying to those job announcements, you need to make some tweaks in order to fit that resume to that job announcement based on the specialized experience. You need to be using a lot of those same keywords within your resume. The next email is the interview request email. Now, I would definitely celebrate this. I would celebrate and then I would start studying for that interview. Now, when it comes to interview request in the government, usually it falls under 3 categories. The first one is they'll just hire you with no interview. This usually happens in positions below GS11. Sometimes they won't even interview you. The second thing is probably the most common. They'll give you 1 interview, and then after that interview, they'll go ahead and extend a job offer. And then you have a situation where they'll interview you twice. So I've seen situations, I've even participated in interviews where it goes, the first interview, you come in, you interview with the team. The second interview, you interview with the actual hiring manager, your future supervisor. And then after that, they might even do something like a meet and greet if the executive wants to meet you, right? So that could happen too. With the interview email, there'll be time blocks in the email. It'll be either 8 or 12 different blocks of time you can pick based on how many people they plan on interviewing. And you go ahead and pick whatever time you want, email HR back, they schedule the interview. Now, some people, they want the first time block so they can set the standard out the gate. And there's other people that want the last time block because they want to leave a positive impression. After everyone else is done, they are the last impression. So I don't think it really matters. It just kind of whatever suits you the best. Just pick a block. But I would also track your interview requests. So I mentioned earlier, you should have 50% of your applications convert into referrals. By that same token, your referrals should convert to interviews at a 20% rate. So if you have 10 referrals, then 2 of them should actually convert into interviews. Now, it's kind of hard to put it into an exact science or an exact math equation, but you have to realize that once you make it past HR, your resume is with the hiring manager. What is in your resume to pop out and call the attention of that hiring manager? That's what's going to matter the most when it comes to getting interviews. Next is the job offer or the not selected email. Of course, like all of these emails, you might not get this email, right? Sometimes people are not selected. They don't receive the email for 12 months or maybe never. So with the job offer, this is usually going to come after the interview's done and they check your references. Then they'll extend the tentative job offer. Some agencies, they'll actually check your references before the interview. And they do this in order to expedite the hiring process. So maybe they're interviewing 5 people. They'll just go ahead and check everyone's references. So they're not going to waste extra time finding out someone isn't suitable. With the tentative job offer, this is not a guarantee of employment. Do not buy plane tickets. Do not put down first and last month rent in an apartment somewhere. Do not order the U-Haul. Things can change still. At this point, you're going to have to undergo a background check. And more often than not, you'll probably have a credit check as well. This is also the time to start negotiating your step level. You do not have to come in as a step 1. If you accept a GS9, you could probably come in maybe as a GS9 step 5 based on your experience. Same thing if you're a GS11 or GS12. Some people have negotiated all the way up to step 10 successfully. This is the difference between $20,000 and $30,000 a year. This is in your best interest to at least try doing once. With the final job offer, you will be given a start date. And this is also negotiable, right? So if they want you to start in 2 weeks, maybe you have something going on. So you're asking for 3 weeks or 4 weeks. I negotiated a 6-week start date. From the time that they gave me the final job offer, I said, hey, listen, I'm still in the military. I would like it to be 6 weeks. And the agency agreed. They don't have to agree, but in my situation, they agreed. Once you start, it's called EOD, Entrance on Duty. Now, the first day is probably going to be orientation. You're going to sit down in front of a PowerPoint slide deck, and people are going to explain to you for hours the agency's mission, the agency's benefits. You know, they're going to have a lot of presentations on your life insurance, on your TSP, things like that. You're going to have to sit through there. After that, if you're working in administration, if you're working a job where you have to be at a desk, usually there will be a telework option. Maybe not immediately, but in the future there should be. So a lot of agencies, they want their people to be in the office for the first month, the first 2 or 3 months until you gain proficiency. You build up your confidence in what you're supposed to be doing. And then at that point, you sign a telework agreement and you're able to telework from home. 1, 2, 3 days out of the week, you can actually be at home working. One of the big questions I receive is, if you are a federal government employee, does that make it easier for you to compete and get other government jobs? Well, the answer is yes and no, right? So it is easier because oftentimes you're now eligible for the competitive service. So more opportunities open up for you. Same thing with internal hiring path. That opens up for you as well in your agency. You can compete for those positions. And you've networked, you know people, so that helps you. Why I would say no is everyone still has to go through the federal hiring process. And it's long. As I just mentioned, you have to receive all of those emails and you have to wait weeks, months for a job offer to come in. Now, you could probably do the direct hire route and that expedites the hiring process a little bit more. But it takes a while to get in. It takes a while to accept a government job, even if you are working in the government. If you are still interested in a federal government job, I did a live stream recently, answered over a dozen questions about usajobs.gov, about government jobs, about the federal hiring process. A lot of these questions could be on your mind. If you're interested in that, I want you to watch this video next. If you would like to see more videos like this, please click like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.